Hello friends, welcome to my channel Hima Education Made Easy. In our previous video, we have seen Python math, where we have seen some sort of built-in mathematical functions like minimum and maximum. Then after we went with absolute values, then power function, and then we have seen how to input mathematical module, and then we have seen some sort of things like square root, ceiling, and floor functions. Then we have seen some sort of piping. Right, and now we'll be moving towards Python JSON. Okay, JSON is a syntax for storing and exchanging data. Okay, JSON is text written with JavaScript object notation. Okay, and Python has an built-in package called JSON, which can be used to work with JSON data. In this, we'll be seeing. So we are going to convert the JavaScript objects into Python. So in order to do that, we need to import JSON. Okay. So import JSON. This is what we need to do. Okay. JSON. Okay. And then if you have a JSON string, you can trace it by using a JSON.loads method. This is what the method we're going to use it. So the result will be in a Python dictionary only. Okay, so here in order to do that, we need to create a JSON file. So in JavaScript, how we are going to define, we need to see. So here, in order to define dictionary, whereas if we go with this one, JavaScript, then here we are going to use it in single colons. Okay, so here I'm going to define a dictionary. So here in this, I'm going to use name, and I'm going to assign it to a value of Sudarshan. Okay, then I'll be taking one more key value, that is age, which is 27. I'll be taking it. Okay, so here this script we have written it in JSON. Okay, and then now we are going to convert it into Python code. So for that we need to give y is equal to JSON dot loads of, in which we are going to convert this one into x. Okay, so from that thing to this one we are going to convert it. So now the result in Python is a dictionary. Okay, so here this one is in JavaScript format and this one is in Python format. So now if we call it with a print statement of y, then we can see the output as a dictionary. Okay, this is how we are going to work it. So we can convert it from Python to JSON also. So if you have a Python object, you can convert it into a JSON string by using JSON.dumps. So whenever you use loads, it will convert from Python JSON to Python. If when you use dumps, it will convert it from Python to JSON. Okay, so for that we can take it as, so here if we remove single quote, then it will get converted into Python. Okay, Python object. So now we need to convert this object into JSON object. So in order to do that, I need to go with dump. Okay, dump, and you need to have dumps. Okay, and then if we go with print of y, now you can see that here it is. Okay, so here if we go with the type of, then we can see that it is string class. Now by using a single quote, what happens, we'll see now. Which type of data will it come? Will it return? We'll see. Print of type of X. Okay. So here now, if I go with it, even then this one will also show us a string because it is in JSON JSON object. So you can convert Python objects of many types like a dictionary, list, tuple, string, integers, floats, true, false, and none. These things you can convert it into JSON script, and similarly you can retrieve it back to Python script. Okay. So now we'll be taking an example in order to convert Python objects into JSON strings and print those values. Okay. So for that purpose, we need to import the JSON, and then we need to go with print of JSON dot dumps of so here in this I'm going to create a dictionary, the similar thing which I have created previously. Okay, so name I'm going to take, and to which I'm going to assign string Sudarshan, and then I'm going to take age, to which I'm going to assign 27. Okay, and then I'm going to another print statement, print of JSON dot dumps. Okay, so in this I'm going to take a string, a list. Okay, over here you can see it a list. So in which I'm going to define apple, and then I'm going to define it with a banana. Okay, now we'll be going with one more print tuple. Now we'll be going to take a tuple. Okay, print of JSON dot dumps of, in which I'm going to take a tuple. For that I need to have this one. Okay, so here also I'm going to take same thing, apple and banana. Okay, now I need to print one more thing, like print of, as usual, JSON dot dumps, in which I'm going to take a string. Okay, so in order to take a string I need to have this one, right? Hello, I'm going to take it this one. Now I'm going to take the remaining parameters like integer, float, boolean operations, and none. Okay, so here I'll be going to take JSON, sorry, control space will give you suggestions. Okay, and then dumps, in which I'm going to take now an integer, and then I'm going to copy the above statement and I'm going to print it over here so that I can change it into float. Okay, and then I'm going to use the same thing, and I'm going to dump over here with boolean operation, that is true. One is true. One more thing I need to have it, right? So in place of true we need to use false, and then now we need to have the final thing, none, right? So what it will return, we'll see now. Okay, so it will return the same thing, but here the difference is when you convert from Python to JSON, Python objects are converted into JSON JavaScript equivalent. So where a dictionary will be converted into an object. So here this dictionary will be an object in JavaScript, and whereas list will be converted into array, this one. Next, we are having a tuple. Tuple will also be an array, because of which you will be able to see that there are square brackets around it. Then string will be of string only, but the name will change. Whereas in Python we'll be calling it with str, whereas in JSON we'll be going with string. Next, similarly here we are going to have integer integer as number. So here float will also be a number in JSON. Okay. So in Python we'll be having integer float for numbers which are having digits followed by point. We'll be calling it as a float, but whereas in JavaScript we'll be calling it as number only, yeah, whether it is a float or an integer. So now here you will be able to see that capital T has been converted into small t. Okay, so in JavaScript, we are not going to use the starting letter with capital. So here equivalent code in Java is small true. Okay, small t and ru followed by. Similarly, here we will be having a false, which starts with small f only, and none will be converted into null in Java script, that is in JSON. This is how we'll be able to convert this one into the things. Now we want to convert something legal data. Okay, all if we are having a legal data, how we are going to convert it, we'll be seeing now. Okay, so here I'm going to remove everything and I'm going to simply define a dictionary where I'm going to have name as it is Sudarshan, and which is followed by age, so equal to isn't allowed, right? So here 27, and I'm going to use Boolean operations too over here. So here married, that is status, that is false I'm going to use, and then I'm going to use one more thing, that is pets, there none. Okay, so this is how, so here it's showing a red mark, so instead of using comma I used a full stop. And now we are going to define one more thing, a dictionary inside a dictionary. We are going to define it over here now. So for that purpose we need to have one more thing, like so here cars. So in this cars I'm going to have a list. Okay, in which I'm going to have again a dictionary. Okay, so which goes with model, and the model is BMW, which is a string, and then mileage per hour. Okay, one more thing I'm going to define, and mileage per hour is nothing but 20.4. Okay, let me say it. Okay, now with this I have successfully created a dictionary. So why it's showing a red mark over here, and this one. Okay, okay, this is how we have created that. Okay, we need to have a comma whenever you are going to define these things. Okay, then again I'm going to have some dictionary only in it, and here also I'll be copy pasting the same thing where I'm going to change the interior values. Okay, so here, so instead of BMW I write Swift, which gives a mileage of 19 kilometers per hour. Okay, So here also, now everything is set. Now I'm going to convert this Python script into JSON script. So in order to do that, I need to have JSON, which is followed by dumps, in which I need to give x, which is an variable that I have defined it. So whenever I run it, I'll be able to see an output in this particular format. So wherever I gave capital false, it converted into small, and pets are also converted into null. Then like this, this one will get converted into a JSON. So the example which we have discussed now is a JSON string, but it is not very easy to read. But with no indentations and line breaks, here we can see that no line breaks and indentations have been given. But whereas in Python script, we'll be getting these indentations and as well as line breaks or slab braces, right? Okay. So the JSON.dumps method has parameters to make it easier to read the results. Okay. Then we'll be going with an example that is indent parameter. So here we can use indent also. So here JSON.dumps x, in which we are going to use index or indent as 4. Okay, and now we'll see what output will it give, right? So 4 indents we need to have. So here we can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 indentations has been given for each and everything. Okay, you can also define the separator default values, that is colons, commas, and these double quotations, these things you can use it, which means using a comma and a space to separate each object, and a colon to separate space to keyword. Okay, so this is how we are going to use it. So here after indent, we can go with a separators, which are of colon, full stop, okay, and then an equal to. Okay, so here if we use this thing, what happens we'll see now. Okay, so here it will go with full stops. So at some particular points, wherever the value has been assigned, there will be able to see some sort of full stops has been assigned, and equal to symbols also have been given instead of is to. Okay, so the final thing in this JSON is the JSON dumps method has a parameter to order the key in the result. Okay, so here in order to arrange everything in result, we can use something called sort. Okay, sort underscore keys is equal to true. Okay, then only these things will get adjusted in order. Okay, this is how the output you will be able to see. So here you can see that age is 27, cars. Okay, so MNO in alphabetical order it will get sorted. First A, then it went with C, then it went with M, N, O, P, like this. So in order, if you want to see everything in an order, you need to use sort keyword. This is the final thing. With this, I will be winding up the session. If you like the video, please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.